Today's movie kicks off on a Chinese island back in 2008. We see this guy named Bo sitting in a restaurant, eating like he hasn't seen food in a month. The restaurant owner comes over, drops a suitcase next to him and says, "Long time no see, Bo. I haven't seen you in a year." Bo tells her he's been traveling a lot and globe-trotting lately, but he's feeling bored because he's always alone. He explains he's just on the island for a quick vacation and will be leaving soon. After that, he goes to stand in front of a specific grave, looking really sad. He pays his respects and then heads out. When night falls, we see him staking out a temple in the middle of the forest where a major criminal and drug lord named Sherman lives. Sherman is shocked to see Bo standing right in front of him, and his guards have completely vanished. Sherman grabs a spear and steps out to face him. Bo is holding his suitcase and throws it down in front of him, looking furious. Sherman attacks with crazy speed, but the surprise is that Bo is a top-tier martial artist. He manages to block every single move the criminal throws at him, one by one, with total ease. Even though Sherman is going nuts trying to kill him, Bo focuses on his leg and gives him a massive kick that knocks him down. During the fight, Bo's jacket gets ripped by the spear, but he doesn't even care. He keeps wailing on Sherman until he's bleeding out and manages to knock the spear away. He continues hitting him ruthlessly until Sherman is completely spent and his legs are broken. Once Bo notices that, he jumps up and delivers a powerful blow that breaks Sherman's neck, killing him on the spot. He picks up the spear and decides to cut off Sherman's head to take it with him. Meanwhile, Sherman's wife, Saki, keeps calling him, but obviously he's not answering. So the next day, she decides to send Sherman's underworld henchmen, led by a guy named Mr. Wing, to go see what happened and why he's ghosting his phone. As for our hero, Bo, he goes looking for a place to eat because he's starving, but most of the restaurants are closed because a storm is coming and everyone is scared. While he's walking, he sees a girl standing on a tree trying to get her cat down, but she suddenly loses her balance and is about to hit the ground. Bo catches her at the very last second and saves her from the fall. Because she's so spooked, she ends up ripping his jacket even more than it already was. To make it up to him, she takes him to her house and gives him a needle and thread to fix the jacket there. At her place, Bo finds out this girl's name is Holly, and she's a cop on the island. When she picks up his suitcase, she notices it's incredibly heavy and asks him about it. He tells her it's just a bowling ball. When she asks why, he explains he's a bowling coach, so she lets it slide and decides to take him out for a meal to thank him. They head to the only restaurant still open in the middle of the storm. The owner welcomes them and starts prepping their food right away. But before they can eat, they hear the news talking about a group of boats that got stolen today. The Coast Guard couldn't track them down or figure out who did it, but they're guessing it was 3 outsiders. Holly looks behind her and sees 3 dangerous-looking guys sitting there eating. Driven by duty, she gets up, shows them her badge, and asks each one for their ID. Their leader tells her, "I'm eating ramen right now. I can't show you anything." When she keeps asking, a huge guy with the leader grabs her by the neck. As soon as the restaurant owner sees this, he runs away in fear. That's when Bo decides to step in. He stands up and hits the guy to make him let go of Holly. The guy starts fighting Bo with total ferocity. Even though Bo is skilled, this guy is a literal giant and hard to handle. Holly tries to hit the leader, but the third guy knocks her down and breaks a table over her. To be honest, he's also really tough and massive. Holly throws flour in his eyes so he can't see straight. As for Bo, he stands on a table and tries to take down the giant, but nothing works. He even flies through the air to hit him, but the guy doesn't even flinch. So Bo decides to work on the giant's legs and gives him a heavy blow until he finally hits the floor. Then he chokes him with every bit of energy he's got, especially since Holly was struggling with the guy who just washed his face and could see again. That guy gives her a kick that sends her flying. Before he can totally wreck her, Bo runs over and hits him a few times, taking him down instantly. But the giant doesn't let go. He runs over and pins Bo down, pressing on his head with insane force. Bo tries to escape, gives him a feint, and when the giant grabs him again, Bo hits him hard enough to bring him back to the ground. By now, the leader has finished his ramen and decides to join the fight. He starts fighting Bo, who is now totally in the zone. Bo starts beating on him just like he did with his men. Despite the leader's attempts, Bo smashes him into the restaurant furniture and literally makes him regret that ramen. Just then, the restaurant owner comes back with 2 cops. He had actually gone to put on a karate gi to handle things, but he finds the restaurant completely trashed. Holly asks Bo to come to the station with her to give his statement. At that moment, Wing and his men arrive at Sherman's temple. They are obviously shocked when they see the 4 guards tied up and poor Sherman sitting on the couch without a head. Back at the station, Bo signs his statement and everyone thanks him, especially the chief. The chief tells everyone that these 3 gang members are wanted everywhere for multiple robberies and nobody could catch them. When he praises Holly for succeeding in such a big case, she makes sure to tell him she only did it because Bo was there. As for Wing, he unties the 4 guards and asks about Sherman's head. When they tell him the guy who hit them was lightning fast, he slaps them. All they remember is that he was wearing a ripped jacket and carrying a suitcase. So they decide to go look for Sherman's head, otherwise his wife is literally going to skin them alive. In the station, the chief serves tea to Holly and Bo, but a cop named Ty isn't feeling it because he has a crush on Holly. He starts asking weird questions like how Bo, who's only been on the island for 2 days, could take down a dangerous gang like that. He's suspicious that Bo is hiding something and warns Holly about him, but she doesn't care and takes Bo so they can all grab lunch. Meanwhile, Wing and his crew start searching hotels for the man with the suitcase who cut off their boss's head. None of them expect him to be right inside the police station. We see a light bulb burn out at the station, so Ty decides to fix it himself to impress Holly. Unfortunately, he gets electrocuted and almost dies, but Bo gives him a hard kick to knock him away from the current. Bo then fixes the light easily. Ty gets even more annoyed and throws a cup of tea in Bo's face, especially since he can't arrest him even though Bo kicked him. Ty then goes to take a shower in the station while Holly sews Bo's jacket properly. You might wonder if there's a shower in a police station. Well, there's even a kitchen, and things are pretty chill there. But as soon as they all sit down to eat, they are stunned by the way Bo eats. He eats with extreme hunger, basically finishing his food and moving on to theirs. They tell him the cook is gone and they won't find anything else to eat. So Bo gets up, opens the fridge, grabs some eggs and veggies, and starts cooking with great skill. He makes them a whole new meal to replace what he finished. But as soon as Bo takes a bite, he almost dies because the food is incredibly spicy. The chief tries it and says the food is great and the spice is perfect. Ty feels embarrassed and eats a huge amount at once, even though he can't handle spice at all. Because of that, he ends up throwing up everything without warning. During the meal, the chief yells at Holly because she acted on her own and could have been hurt. Bo finds out from their conversation that Holly's mom moved to Canada with her new husband, but Holly chose to stay here to be a cop and seek justice. Anyway, after the meal, the chief makes some calls to find a good place for Bo to spend his vacation. Suddenly, Ty comes down carrying a cake. It turns out it's Holly's birthday. Everyone starts celebrating, and Bo looks really surprised but doesn't say anything and celebrates with them. After they're done, Bo and Holly go to wash the dishes. Following the whole equality and strong woman vibe, Bo tells her, "Watch out, you could have died today," but he sees she isn't afraid and has a very high sense of justice. She asks him about the elephant tooth on his necklace, and Bo explains it's a wolf's fang. He treasures it because he believes wolves are the guardians of souls. When he sees her mocking him, he says, "Why don't I teach you a few moves so you can defend yourself better?" She mocks him again and says, "I'd wreck you in a fight, babe." They go to an empty spot and Holly starts doing some silly moves. Bo grabs her by the neck and teaches her how to break the hold easily, but she tricks him and pulls another move on him. They keep reversing moves, and the vibe turns into, "Let yourself go and dance," instead of, "Let yourself go and learn." Ty sees them and runs to break it up quickly. He says, "What the hell? Do you think this station is a shelter? Get out of here, we have work to do." He takes Holly with him because there's a noise complaint from an old lady. Bo grabs his mysterious bag to leave, and the chief gives him a paper with addresses where he can stay. Meanwhile, Wing and the rest of the guys are turning the whole town upside down until they see someone walking with a suitcase. They grab him immediately but find the bag only has clothes in it, so they let him go. At that time, Ty and Holly arrive at the old lady's place. She looks down from the balcony and tells them dogs are barking near the house and she can't sleep. Ty calms her down because she's a bit eccentric, and they go to see what's up, especially since Holly tells him dogs only bark when they see strangers. While they're walking, they see Sherman's temple. Ty goes in to mess around with the candles while Holly checks the place from every angle until she sees 5 guys standing behind Sherman's corpse. She calls Ty, who comes in immediately, and asks them why they're there. They say they're just taking cover from the rain, but Holly notices they're hiding something behind them. She orders them to move back before she draws her weapon. They comply, and she reveals the body on the ground. She's shocked and screams when she sees it's headless. Before she can report it, the men attack her and Ty with total ferocity. Bo appears from behind them, hits two of the guys quickly, and runs. Ty catches a glimpse of him, but Bo escapes like lightning. The rest of the guys with wings see him from a distance, but can't chase him because of the police. Because of this, they call the boss Saki and tell her things aren't looking good because the police are taking her husband's body to the station. She screams at Wing and demands he get the body out of the station no matter the cost. Meanwhile, we see two guys chasing Bo through several alleys until he pops up right in front of them, totally unfazed. As soon as one of them tries to attack, Bo hits him instantly and takes down the second one with fast strikes, leaving them on the ground. He skillfully jumps onto a roof to grab his bag and leave, but one of Wing's followers, who looks like a ninja, appears and attacks Bo fiercely. He even manages to take the bag from him, but Bo doesn't let him go. He gets into an intense fight until he eventually knocks him down. He takes the bag and leaves. Back at the police station, Ty is fuming because he saw Bo at the temple and is sure he's involved in Sherman's case, especially after seeing his fighting skills. Suddenly, three of Wing's men arrive, yelling and causing chaos. Two more come from behind and throw buckets of gasoline on the chief and another person. They threaten to set everyone on fire, so the chief tells everyone to drop their guns, because if they fire a shot, he'll be killed. The men go in to pick up Sherman's body so they can leave in peace, but Holly signals to one of the officers, and at the right moment, she goes for her gun while her colleague shoots the men immediately. Chaos breaks out in the station because nobody can fire freely due to the gas. One guy throws a lighter at the chief to end his life, but the officer catches it at the very last second. One of the men was about to stab Holly and finish her, but with lightning speed, she brings him to the ground and controls him. At the same time, another guy was going to kill Ty, but the brave officer jumps on him and pins him down. The chief wraps his hand in a scarf and grabs a gun to threaten everyone, finally getting the situation under control. Unfortunately, the brave officer gets shot in the stomach. Instead of rushing to stop the bleeding or getting a first aid kit, they just stand there in shock and watch him until he dies. Seriously, you have a shower and a kitchen, but no first aid kit? What a weird bunch. Anyway, at that moment, a Coast Guard delegation arrives at the station. The detective talks to everyone and explains that Sherman was a drug dealer and leader of a dangerous criminal organization, wanted by international authorities. Now someone killed him and even took his head, and they need to find out who. During this time, Bo is on his way to the port. He hears the news about the cop dying at the station and sees the Coast Guard turning the island upside down. He climbs onto a rooftop immediately to avoid them, especially since they're chasing a suspect aggressively. The detective tells Holly and the others that Saki, Sherman's wife, is now leading the criminal organization in his absence, but they have no evidence and can't do anything to her. By this time, Bo has reached the port with total composure. Even though they are searching all the bags, for some reason, they don't search Bo and let him through. The detective demands everyone search for Sherman's killer ASAP. This is when Ty tells him about his suspicions and gives him Bo's description. Immediately, the detective broadcasts the description to all his men, who catch up with Bo before he escapes. They order him to stop. When the detective finds out, he takes all the men and heads to the port immediately. As soon as they arrive, the detective orders Bo to open his weird bag. Bo just tosses it toward him, totally unbothered. Holly steps up to open the bag, terrified that they might be right and Bo is the killer. But as soon as she opens it, she finds some clothes and a bowling ball, just like he told her before. She closes the bag and hands it to Bo so he can leave in peace. But she follows him at the last second and apologizes for what happened. She takes his phone and calls herself so she can check on him later. As he says goodbye and gets on the boat, it looks like they've caught feelings for each other. But as soon as the boat starts moving, we notice Wing is on board, watching Bo from a distance. When Saki calls him, he reassures her that he's watching the killer and will catch him soon. But he's shocked when Bo goes and puts the suitcase on Wing's lap, takes the phone to answer Saki, and confirms they'll reach her in half an hour. She gives Wing 1 day to bring back her husband's head and leave the island for good, but Bo mocks her and hangs up. Wing sits there terrified, thinking the bag is heavy and might actually have the boss's head in it. Bo scares him even more, saying, "You never know if you'll live to see the next day." He assures him everything will be clear in the end. As they get close to the pier, Bo notices a huge number of Wing's men waiting for them. He leaves Wing tied up in the bathroom and escapes immediately, hopping into the first taxi he sees and vanishing. At that moment, Holly gets a call from the station telling her it's confirmed that Bo killed Sherman. It turns out Bo got hit by a car while passing in front of the police. His bag opened and Sherman's head appeared inside the bowling ball. But he quickly grabbed it and ran off. Holly looks at her phone and remembers she has Bo's number, but hesitates to call him. Meanwhile, Bo goes back to the same restaurant where he ate at the start. The owner learns from him that his vacation is over and he's leaving the island and being deported again. At that time, Holly is walking in the street, still hesitating over Bo's number. Suddenly, two guys attack her, drug her, and kidnap her. Bo then gets a call on his phone from Holly's number. He finds out Saki kidnapped her and has her hanging in a specific spot. Saki demands he come save her. Holly is fuming and tells Saki she'll arrest her sooner or later. When Saki asks if she'll arrest Bo for killing her husband and beheading him, Holly confirms she'll arrest anyone who breaks the law, no matter who they are. Suddenly, as they are talking, Bo appears coming from a distance in the rain. The surprise is that Saki has prepared 100 men lined up in 2 rows to fight him. He walks through them with total composure, not giving a damn. But suddenly, a brutal battle begins as all 100 men attack him at once. This, my friend, is a legendary fight because Bo starts attacking them with massive brutality. He smashes anyone in his way. Despite their insane numbers, anyone who takes a hit stays down and doesn't get back up. Bo has basically activated destroy mode and is wrecking and sweeping anyone who gets near him. All this while he's trying to get to Holly to free her first. But the men won't leave him alone and chase him fiercely. This actually works in his favor because it breaks their massive numerical advantage. He beats them in stages, and anyone who stands in his way faces certain destruction. Bo is a high-level martial artist, and nobody can handle him. When Saki sees this, she hits Holly to distract him. It works, and the men swarm him. In a weird scene, he gives them a blow that sends them all flying with incredible power, but he falls to the ground, clearly exhausted. Holly keeps encouraging him, begging him to get up and fight before they kill him. Despite the exhaustion and pain, Bo gets up to continue the destruction and wrecking without mercy. The battle of 100 men against one martial artist ignites. Even while sitting on the ground, he keeps giving them powerful hits. We notice he's bleeding from the pain, but keeps going despite everything until he manages to get rid of a huge part of the men. Holly is crying because she's still tied up and can't do anything. He attacks the last few guys with extreme ferocity and fighting skills beyond description. He takes some serious hits to the head that could cause a concussion, to the point where Holly screams at him to leave them and run before he dies. But there's no way Bo is running away now. He endures the horrific pain until he finishes off everyone. Only one guy is left. Bo forces himself up and gives him a few dangerous hits, leaving him on the ground with his buddies. That's when Saki decides to come down with her dangerous sword. She decides to end his life and avenge her husband, Sherman's death. She wants to cut his head off just like he did, but Bo dodges the strike at the last second and grabs the sword from her. On the other side, Holly is trying to untie herself by any means, but it's so difficult that she bleeds until she falls to the ground. She finally frees herself and goes to face Saki, who is holding a sword. One of the men grabs Holly's leg so Saki can kill her. Here, our legendary hero sacrifices himself and takes the sword thrust in her place. Holly goes crazy and hits Saki with a blow that knocks her unconscious. She rushes to Bo, breaking down in tears after everything he did for her. Bo confesses to her then that yesterday was the happiest day of his life. We find out his birthday is the same day as Holly's, which is why he was so surprised when the cops started celebrating her. He remembers all his short moments with her while he's sad and passes away as Holly completely breaks down. Anyway, after a while, Holly mentions that nobody ever figured out why Bo beheaded Sherman. Some said it was for revenge, until Holly discovered that a year ago, Sherman kidnapped a nurse, assaulted her, and killed her in a very savage way. We see that the grave Bo stood at in the beginning belongs to that nurse. It's certain, my friend, that she was his relative or they were in a relationship, and that's what made him take revenge on Sherman in such a harsh way. So the man who started as a cold-blooded professional killer ended up delivering justice for the oppressed against the tyrants. And that's where the movie ends. I hope you liked the summary. If you made it to the end, don't forget to like the video and write us a nice comment like you always do. For those seeing us for the first time, subscribe to the channel to see all the upcoming summaries. See you next movie. Peace.